Hello everyone and welcome to Plot Twists. So today I am super excited to be continuing along with my Reid Like an Astrological Sign Part 2. Today we are going to be doing Reid Like a Cancer. So just like the past video, we are going to start with some Cancer traits so that you guys have an idea as to what I'm going to be talking about over the course of this video. So some traits that I think are very integral to Cancer as an astrological sign. They're very intuitive. They're protective. They can be emotional. But they're also very gentle and compassionate. On a kind of negative side, sometimes they can be overly sensitive. But what I really wanted to drive home about this is that they're also very family oriented. So in terms of the books we're going to talk about today, I have two to share. Two book characters that I think exhibit Cancer energy, and one book that I'm going to read based on an internet recommendation of Reid Like a Cancer. The first one that I want to talk about is 2 by 2 by Nicholas Sparks. This book centers around a man who loses his job one day, and so his wife basically decides that she's going to go off to work, and he is stuck at home raising his 3-year-old daughter. As the story kind of evolves, his wife just becomes more and more distant, and there's definitely a eventual conflict that it leads up to. In general, the relationship between the man in the story and his daughter is super integral to the story. I would say probably 75% of it is just about things that occur between him and his daughter and how their relationship develops. And that's part of the reason that I felt like this exhibited a lot of Cancer energy. But the other is that there's definitely an emotional component as this man is raising his daughter and realizing that he is slowly losing his wife. I would not necessarily say that this is my favorite Nicholas Sparks book, but this is definitely within my top 5. And if you haven't read this, I would highly recommend it. The other book that I want to talk about today is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. If you know anything about this story, I think it's pretty clear why I would include this on a list of emotional books, because I would definitely say that this had an emotional connection that drew me in. But I would say that family is also a very central point in this story as well. Not necessarily in a conventional sense, but in a lot of different ways. So if you're unfamiliar, this book centers around our main character, Nora, who basically at the beginning of the story decides that she is going to kill herself. And after an attempt, she ends up in the Midnight Library, which is basically a collection of books that tells all of the possible things that could have happened to her in her life, depending on what might have gone differently. So it starts with a book of regrets, things that, regrets that Nora has about her life. And the Midnight Library allows her to work through any of those scenarios and see what could have been. The deal with the Midnight Library is that when she finds a world in which she doesn't ever want to leave, she will just live there forever, as long as it's the correct fit for her. So naturally, Nora goes through many lives, many possibilities, sees a lot of different things, and kind of sees how where she thought it was a regret, if things had gone differently, there's a lot of unexpected things that would have been different. Without giving any spoilers, by the end of this book, I was in tears. The growth that Nora has, and watching how her life and how she has reprocessed her life over the course of this book is really incredible. But without being too spoiler, there's also a section near the end that shows what Nora's life would have been like if she had, not if she had, but a scenario in her life in which she has a husband and a child. And that section really spoke to me and was very integral to the story as well. And that's also part of the reason why this book is on this list. I know that this may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it was definitely one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. Okay, so moving into characters that I feel like exhibit a lot of Cancer energy. The first one that I want to talk about is Arthur from House in the Cerulean Sea. I don't think there's another character that I could think of that even begins to exhibit the protective energy that a Cancer can have over a set of children that he considers his. He feels very responsible for these kids and is very much involved in making sure that they have the best possible experience that they can. Arthur's connection with these kids was, one, my favorite part of this book, but two, just so incredibly strong. He is so gentle with these kids. He is super compassionate about their circumstances, where they've come from, where they might be going. Honestly, I would say that Arthur is even most protective over the characters that need it the most. In general, I just feel like Arthur has the most Cancer energy, maybe of any character I've ever read. The second character that I want to mention is actually from a book that I finished earlier this week, and that is Nina from Malibu Rising. Without giving any spoilers, because I know this is a new book, Nina just feels so protective over her siblings. As the story develops, you see more and more of how she has taken a very strong role in each of their lives, and how protective she is over them in various ways. I think there's also a lot in this story that is somewhat of an emotional roller coaster, but particularly when it comes to things that have happened to or with Nina. If you haven't picked this book up, I would definitely recommend it. It is definitely another Taylor Jenkins Reid novel that is excellent, and I will definitely be talking about it in my July wrap-up, but I just wanted to include Nina here as well. And so for the last part of this segment, a book that is recommended from the internet for Read Like a Cancer. I have been trying to find books that are on my shelves, and when I came across this one, which I recently picked up, I thought it was perfect. So the recommended book for this month is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I really don't know a whole lot about this book, except that a lot of people have really enjoyed it, and so I'm looking forward to picking it up. Look forward to hearing more of my thoughts in my July wrap-up coming later this month. All right, friends, so that is all I have to share today in terms of Read Like a Cancer. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I am super excited to be doing this again at the end of near the end of next month with my Read Like a Leo segment. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I will be putting videos out every 5 to 6 days, so look forward to that. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye!